All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Filmaholic. I'm Matthew. This is Ethan. We also have a Bell in the line. Maybe he'll join at some point. There he goes. This is our happy hour episode. We bring you this every Friday. We break down movie news from the past week. Unfortunately, if you know anything about what's going on in the world today, there's not a lot of movie news to talk about, but we do have some. A lot of it is revolving around the coronavirus. Both movies getting postponed and whatnot, and a little bit of news around that. And we're really just going to be breaking that down and giving our opinion of like what could happen because of this news. Because, like I said, a lot of this is straightforward. But before we start actually talking about stuff that's affected by the coronavirus, I want to break it down the stuff that is not really attached to that first. And that the first thing here that I want to talk about is Final Destination. I know I've watched the Final Destination movies in the past. I watched the first two, and then I remember watching the third one in theaters when it came out. I don't know if I watched the fourth one in theaters or not, but I know I watched it, and I remember it was bad. But and I never watched the fifth one. But I did watch the first three. I did enjoy the first three, especially the first two. And I know, Ethan, you just recently rewatched or you watched them for the first time, actually. Yeah. And go ahead and like briefly give us your opinion of those movies.
I mean, they're fun to watch. Well, the first three.
Yeah.
Fourth one's terrible. Don't bother with it. The fifth one, yeah, the twist at the end, it took a half star, so it would have been a 3. But I mean, they're all right. They're something to watch. I don't think I'd ever watch them again. But I mean, they're fun for at least one viewing. Scream ripoff, I guess.
I think it has like a nice original idea.
That's just the vibe I got when I started watching the first one.
You mean like more of a trendy, like modern horror film with young people? It has that vibe. Especially if you look at some of the cast too. Had hits at the time, like Kurt Smith from Dawson's Creek.
Ali Larter.
Definitely. But when you were watching them, I was thinking, I wonder if they're going to reboot this franchise or if they'll make another one in the franchise if they don't reboot it. Turns out they were already one step ahead of us and they were already doing that. So I'm not like too surprised. But yeah, so they are rebooting Final Destination. However, when I was looking at the article, the people writing this one said it's not so much as a reboot. They didn't necessarily say that it was continuation either, so I don't really know what it is. If they're just going to call it Final Destination, if it's going to take place in the same world as those other 5 films, if it is going to be something completely new. But apparently in this one, unlike the other 5 films, how they followed people in their 20s, this film is going to be following first responders. And I don't really understand it. So
this gets too much backlash, man.
So it's supposed to be following first responders, cops, firefighters, EMTs, but so it's like it's like supposed to be following them, but like how they can make decisions to keep people alive, but then how it's gonna affect them. So I don't really completely understand it. But what do you think of it?
I'll watch it, I guess, once.
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch it.
I mean, it depends on who's producing, directing, all that. Because you could just have a terrible cast and it'd be worse than the fourth one.
Yeah.
If it's not rated R, I'm not interested.
I 100% think it's going to be rated R. I can't imagine a Final Destination movie that's rated PG-13. We would just cut away every time somebody dies.
Well, yeah, you just
not even show it.
Nope. Surprise. Just keep it to your imagination.
I can't imagine that, but the idea of a new movie excites me. It does, it's interesting them taking it in a different direction other than the other 5 films. So that interests me as well. Abel, have you seen these movies?
I have.
Sweet.
They are awful. I don't know what the hell they make them. If you want like a teenage horror story, just go to Spring Break Miami or go to Spring Break Cancun. There's a horror movie.
Not right now, we can't, Abel, so I just have to watch Final Destination.
We'll go next year. How about that? A Filmaholic special from Mexico.
Sounds good to me.
I'm just staying in the hotel watching Spring Breakers if we do. I don't need to experience. That's enough for me. To me.
You go to St. Petersburg and only watch that on the TV.
Yeah. Or like walking down the street, just watching on my phone.
Yeah,
It's gonna be playing constantly.
at least the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The next story here is another non-coronavirus story, and that is Jonah Hill thinks that Amazon fucked up the release of Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, and he also considers his performance in that film the best performance of his career. What do you guys think?
He's not wrong.
About both?
Arguably about both.
Yeah. I agree. This was a really good movie. I know I've mentioned it several times, I think on the show as well, that I think, that movie got snubbed for awards. I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance in that film was better than his performance in Joker. And there was a lot of other good performances in that movie as well, including Jonah Hill. And I don't think anyone watched it other than people extremely dedicated to film.
I watched it.
Yeah.
In the
I
theater.
watched it. You watched it in theaters?
I went to Charlotte to see it.
I think Red Cinema's got it too, but I didn't go see it in theaters.
They got it after I already watched it.
Oh. Yeah. I watched it, I think, on Amazon, but I knew it was in theaters. I did want to go see it. I just didn't get around to it. But yeah, Amazon definitely should have had a bigger push on this. I don't know when it came out either in theaters, but it doesn't seem like it came out in the fall like it probably should have.
Yeah, it was fall.
It was?
Yeah, 2017, I think.
Yeah, later. I want to say I went September-ish.
Why do you think this film didn't get any buzz?
Amazon just didn't care about it, I don't think.
Didn't see the potential?
I don't know why you make a movie with that cast and just think it's not going to do anything. A biopic, too?
Yeah. And the director. I mean, the director's, he's a big name.
Yeah. Not big enough for Amazon, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. No.
Push that Brittany Runs a Marathon movie.
Yeah, that worked out for him.
Yeah, already on there.
But yeah, so there's that. It's a little bit of interesting thing. And then we get into the coronavirus. So the first thing I wanted to talk about here, I guess I just wrote it down. It's like not really a movie mention, but Conan is returning on March 30th. And this is kind of a bigger topic to a lot of late night shows. Conan is returning on March 30th with episodes shot on an iPhone. I think that's pretty interesting that a lot of these talk shows are doing stuff shot on like phones, stuff from their house. What do you guys think about that?
There's some, is it Fallon and Kimmel that have uploaded stuff to YouTube?
I think
Kimmel.
so. I think Stephen Colbert might have done something too from his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still in a suit too, I think.
So I mean, it's kind of cool they're doing that.
I mean, at least keep your audience. I mean, because it's still a business.
Yeah.
I mean, even it's still. I mean, all of those have the same job really. So I mean, you still want to keep viewers when you do get back on the air.
Yeah, you want to stay relevant.
So I mean, Conan, he's on cable, I think.
TBS.
The other ones, they're on regular television, so people who don't have cable, maybe it could broaden his audience.
Another thing here is films, or in China, which we don't really know what's going on right now in China, but as far as we do know, China is like the wave is starting to pass over there, and things are starting to go back to normal.
Yeah, just they're 90% recovered.
So Chinese theaters are starting to reopen their cinemas, but their theaters obviously, with older films to allow them to keep 100% of the revenue. So instead of showing newer films and having to split the money with studios, they are actually showing older films. I know, like, I can't remember some of the ones they were showing. It was like from a couple years ago, classic films, different ones. so they can keep that money to stay in business.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like anything's coming out right now anyway.
No.
You might as well. I mean, I would have to think it was at least discount priced.
I would think probably so. But it's cool, especially for, and honestly, I mean, I don't know how the theater chains work in China, if they're all like just Chinese-based theater chains, if there's any American theater chains in China, but
Probably
just,
better than Regal.
I don't know if there's any Regal. Well,
Or probably better than Regal.
not Regal, but Cineworld, because Cineworld owns Regal, so that's a European company, so I don't know. They own a lot of theaters, I think, around the world. So yeah, that I would not necessarily support them. Definitely the smaller theaters though, and the independent theaters. This is great for them, and honestly, don't think the Cineworld would even show older films to try to do this because it's just that company that I could really go on a rant about, but I'm not going to.
I just realized that I don't get to see Braveheart in theaters on Sunday.
Nope.
Oh man, this is brutal. Man,
Bro, I've been like a week without a soccer game. Shit.
this is the worst part of the coronavirus at this point for me.
The Braveheart thing?
Yeah,
Man.
25th anniversary, one of my favorite movies, and I don't get to see it in theaters.
Yeah. You have the Blu-ray at least.
And they're coming out with a 25th anniversary steelbook, so you can have my Blu-ray when it happens.
I have it on Steelbook.
Braveheart?
Yeah.
Not the 25th anniversary edition.
But I have the regular Steelbook.
It's his face. Oh, you can have mine now. It's going to McKay's.
Because I got the Steelbook at McKay's.
Oh.
I thought I was like, do I want to get it? And I was like, it's Steelbook, I have to. It was $5.
Oh, there's you look it up when we get done. 25th anniversary. It's like, yeah, that's happening. Comes out May 5th.
The next topic here is another like theater-based one, and that's Bloodshot, which thankfully I got to see before this. Thankfully I got to see.
I missed it.
You missed it. It was such a bummer. It's going to video on demand.
Oh.
Because of this. But they said Sony said they were still dedicated to having it in theaters when theaters they open the doors back.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody cares, but
No, they don't care at all. Nobody was going to.
I don't even know if people's going to rent it on VOD, but
that's another thing. Why is it full price?
I don't know.
$19.99.
Yeah, man.
What?
A popular film.
That is crazy. Any movie, this is exactly why you're still going to have theaters if you're going to have prices like that.
Yeah.
Why $19.99? That's nearly and that's just to rent it.
That's to rent it, not to own it.
They haven't said anything about owning it.
Wow.
Unless I've read the articles wrong, like it's all.
Definitely, don't pay $20 to see this movie. Don't do it.
But even that, why not $1? You would get so many more people to watch that movie.
Max like $8, like the price of a matinee ticket.
Yeah, and then like you should still be able to use your subscription, like AMC has their on demand. So
are you able to watch movies on there? Like
you had to pay for them.
Oh well, that's shitty.
But I think it's just another way for them to get revenue. But I think you should, as of right now, like with what's going on in the AMC on demand, I should be able to use A-List and get 3 movies a week.
Yeah.
I don't understand the difference. You're not getting money for concessions, I guess, is the only difference.
Right.
Which you don't get it from me anyway.
Well, that's the thing I was thinking about the other day too. When I went to, was it last week? I went to see a couple movies, and I'm like, they're betting on people who have this service to go to the concessions. The majority of people to go to concessions and buy stuff, but.
Or are you wrong?
And let me tell you, I know this isn't a topic here, but how I was pissed off. I like Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
And Regal switched over to Pepsi. So I go into Regal. They have on like the marquees and everything that they have Pepsi. It's like on the the popcorn buckets, the cups, all of this stuff advertised up there. I go up there, get in line. I'm like, I guess I'll get a Pepsi today. I got like, I got a free drink on my subscription and everything. I get a little bit closer. I see they still have Coke products. Like, it seems like a legal issue. How can you advertise that you have Pepsi up here, but then actually be serving Coke?
They hadn't switched to like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and
No, they hadn't switched yet. They still had Coke on like all of their fountains.
we got to run out first, man. Clear the pipes.
Yeah, I guess.
Guess you didn't get a Pepsi.
No, I went on and didn't get anything, which I was pretty bummed out because I wanted to get a coffee, and I didn't have time. But
Well, you told me that they don't make it fresh anyway.
I wasn't gonna get coffee there. I was talking about Starbucks, so I didn't have time to talk about Starbucks. Moving on here, the next topic is Evangelina Lilly, who plays Wasp in Ant-Man the Wasp. Well, she refuses to self-quarantine. She will not do it. She's taking her freedom over her life. What do you guys think?
Can't blame her right now.
Yeah,
She doesn't have to.
to.
Well, she doesn't have to right now.
No.
And I was reading she's in Hawaii.
Okay.
With well, she said she's from what I just read it right before we started. She's with her father, who has stage 4 leukemia, but I'm not sure she has something because she said she's also immune compromised.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like she's completely in health. So I mean, yeah, she knows what she's doing. So I mean, yeah, as of right now, yeah, she has every right to say that.
I have different points of it. I understand it's like a serious issue. I understand people like should not go out and risk getting a lot of other people sick. But in terms of certain examples, I guess like this and stuff, it's like just don't go around these people. Like if you're self-quarantined, then why are you worried about somebody else going out and doing that? I don't let people do what they want.
Nope. I mean, I agree with her. Like I say, I'm still going to work. I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow. Going to the store to get some stuff. So I mean, I don't have to get a haircut, but I want one, so that's gonna happen.
Shave your head.
Somewhere, yeah, I'll do it outside. But there's no actual laws right now where she's at to mandatory quarantine, and it's not an issue. I mean, people can be personally upset, but that doesn't really matter.
Another thing here is Cannes, the film festival, huge international film festival, has been postponed. Yep. Not a surprise here, really, but it does worry me because if it's postponed, then a lot of these movies they Once Upon a Time was at Cannes. A lot of other films are at Cannes, and that's before the release. It gets buzz. If it's postponed, how long is it going to be postponed? Are films that are actually supposed to be at Cannes this year, are they going to actually be at the festival when it happens, or are they just not going to have the festival this year? How do you think that's going to affect the festival and films that are supposed to be at the festival?
This is going to blow up your award season for sure.
Yeah, it's probably going to push back everything.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting Oscars until March or April next year, at least.
But even then, movies who would have got buzz, maybe ones who would have had a better shot at getting certain awards, they won't have a shot at all now. Well,
yeah, you're right, because the Cannes is usually an early.
That's a start.
Yeah. So this is the first push into that. Now, typically these movies that are up for Oscars come out between October and January, right? So those films are still can potentially still come out at that time. Well, they have to be eligible for the Oscars unless they change the date. Well, they don't have to come out during that time, but they can't come out after January. So you can't push it back into 2021 and still be eligible. But they could come out anytime this year. As of right now, it looks like Ben Affleck is taking home an Oscar this year for The Way Back.
That's the only movie. Vin Diesel?
No.
One shot.
Ben Affleck and Elizabeth Moss, and they're taking home Oscars.
Hey, as much as Vin Diesel campaigns for stuff, I'm putting it on mine. But it's even no, it's like not. I mean, because those movies are still going to come out if this clears up or whatever by then. All the movies that are slated then will still come out, but then you're going to have people who are supposed to vote or rush to watch them, and they go, "Well, I got to catch up on this. Like, I didn't have time to watch this or that." Like, so
Yeah, I'm curious to see how long this lasts and if it really does affect the Oscar season that much, because this is definitely a start of it affecting that, which goes into the a couple of the other topics we have here, which the second one, and it kind of bleeds in with the other topic as well, but the second one is there not going to be a summer movie season now, and a lot of people are saying that the summer movie season's gone. I don't think it's completely gone yet, because we don't know how long this is going to last. We just know everything in May is pretty much canceled. Everything from April to May, through those months, Fast and Furious, Black Widow, which was supposed to kick off the summer movie season, both of those films, they've been pulled from the calendar. There's other movies that Mulan's been pulled from the calendar. I don't know. There's a couple other films in May that are supposed to come out that I don't know if they've been pulled yet, like Scoob and.
that's not coming out.
Probably not, no. But a couple other films in that month that I don't know if it's been pulled yet. But that's not an end to the summer movie season, though, because we still have June and we definitely still have July with heavy hitters.
For right now.
Could we see the summer movie season, instead of being typically, I would say the summer movie season's April through August, with August usually being the end of it, like it's fading out through August. Like July is the big finale, pretty much, and then you have like a little few in August. Could we see it moving from like late June through September being summer movie season, like the actual summer?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Or do you think it's
not?
I mean, that might be
something
what they
on.
consider it.
What was that?
Let's go ahead.
That might be what they consider it this year. The summer movies.
Right. I'm not saying like in general from now on, but just this year.
But it just depends on when studios decide to release their movies, what it's going to be.
Which that's going to lead into the final topic here, and that is the fact that Black Widow, which was supposed to come out May 1st, kick off the summer movie season, has been pulled. Do you think, and this goes into a wider issue about the MCU schedule, I think they're going to push Black Widow to either the last weekend in June or the first weekend in July, which I think will be around the time the theaters will open back up, probably early June, I think, right now. It's my prediction. And that Black Widow will come out probably around 4th of July, if not the weekend before.
I mean, right now, yeah, that sounds right. But depends on what else happens.
I can't. It really depends on everything else. It depends on the government. It depends on movie theaters, because if movie theaters aren't open, a movie can't come out. So like, it really depends on that, and then that's is a response to the government itself and policies and different things they're implementing. But I don't see them pushing Black Widow past the 4th of July weekend, unless theaters aren't open, which is very scary to think about.
And that really blows up their schedule.
Yeah, which is the last thing I have here is the MCU schedule, and that's why I think they'll definitely try to keep it 4th of July or before, because if it goes past that, then it starts messing up the MCU schedule. Then you got it competing with Morbius, which is an issue, not just for them, but Morbius does take place in the MCU now. We're pretty sure, but they have a deal with Sony, so if it's competing with that, that's kind of an issue. But then also in August, Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to start, unless that's pushed back because of them not being finished with filming. But I think they're almost done with it, so I think that might still reach the date. Which if it does reach the date, they have to have Black Widow come out before that. Then you got WandaVision.
Well, one extreme that they could do, and this would be just a last measure, is just put Black Widow on Disney Plus to keep the schedule.
This is something Abel was talking about last night with me, and he thinks you think that's what they're gonna do?
I mean, like, back with the coronavirus, right now there's speculation this might probably be going till July and August, and how you said, like, August is like the deadline. So if we still like in this current situation we are by then, Disney's just gonna go like, screw it, just upload it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, as like a last resort, like that's kind of their only option.
Because they have a slate, and they're just probably gonna be like, all right, let's just bite the bullet for this one, and after that we can keep everything right on schedule.
Last resort, I guess I can say that I would agree with that. But I have.
We don't know what is in Black Widow either.
That's another thing. We don't know how that ties in with the other films.
But I mean, there's a reason they put it in May before Falcon and Winter Soldier, then Eternals, then WandaVision.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, is there something about Black Widow we have to see before we get to see the other stuff? So.
I think yes to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think they definitely tie into each other.
I think isn't Black Widow? It's after Civil War, but it would be
before Infinity War.
Yes, after Civil War, but before Infinity War.
Yeah, I think it's before. The way I read it, it's right after Civil War because she's not with Cap yet, as far as like a group.
Right.
I would think almost directly after it.
Well, did I tell you that little slight spoiler about the cameo?
No, man, don't tell me a spoiler about a cameo neither. Stop looking this stuff up.
It's early in the movie, but there's a certain character.
I'll see it early in the movie.
There's a certain character that's earlier in the movie that kind of puts you the time frame of where it's at.
Well, cool. I'll get there. Stop looking this stuff up.
Thanos is in the movie.
Tells you this stuff too, man. He's always like looking up spoilers.
Always.
I can't help myself.
Wait, yeah, there it is.
Even before Infinity War, he was just like, oh, I can't help myself.
I can't, dude.
You can.
It's like I gotta see if it's out there. If
of
it is,
course
I gotta know.
there. But no, as a last resort, full effort, yeah. I think if there's no sign for the theaters to be open by July 4th, I think it gets put on Disney Plus on July 4th.
Yeah.
I think
you got kids at home, families. It's a family movie, so it's a big holiday. You know, people are going to be around each other. Throw it on Disney Plus.
And
I think they'll wait. I think they'll wait a little bit longer.
This can also be good for Disney Plus membership.
Yes, and Bob Iger's very passionate about that as his legacy, but I still think
there you go.
As a company, I still think they'll wait a little bit longer after July.
I mean, but it all depends on you said, the government and all that.
It really depends on the overall state of and what projected is to happen and all of that. So I really don't know for sure. But as of right now, in my mind, I'm still thinking that this is a movie that's expected to make a lot of money. Scarlett Johansson, the most paid actress in the world, and I feel like she deserves to have a movie in cinemas too.
Yeah.
So I feel like they definitely I don't know. I feel like they would be more likely to put Eternals on Disney Plus than Black Widow.
But here's the thing: when you go with Scarlett Johansson, though, like since you guys talked about last week about streaming service and movie theaters, what a better way to kick off something like that with her and that movie at that magnitude. If they do decide to go to that route, it'll be a good thing for Disney. It'll be a good thing for her because she can go, oh, it's the first major film. She can go just straight to stream, and then Disney can just go pull off whatever narrative they want.
It's possible.
So they have some stuff to lose when it comes to money, but either way, just for bragging rights, they have a lot to go for, personally.
I guess ultimately for me is we don't know what's in the movie, we don't know what's in the shows, and we don't know what is even in Eternals. Because if Eternals was a Guardians of the Galaxy type film where it wasn't really like the first one, you didn't have to have it connected to the other movies that much, I could see them pushing Black Widow later and adjusting their schedule and release dates, and then moving Eternals maybe to Disney Plus. But we recently was reading, and Kamel's character is a Bollywood star.
Yeah.
In modern day, so I guess this movie actually does take place in the timeline. So I don't know how it's going to fit in, and so that makes me think that they wouldn't, I guess, move it to Disney Plus. I don't know.
But as a last resort, I think Black Widow gets put on Disney Plus. They've got money to lose compared to other studios. So,
they do.
This was going to make a lot of money. Like, you can definitely bite the bullet.
And that's why I think like they're going to wait for as long as they can, because if they realize that they can't make the amount of money that they're wanting to make, and they think it's a better option to put it on Disney Plus financially at that point, then I think they'll put it on Disney Plus. But
this also goes for Mulan as well.
I think that's getting pushed to December. I don't think that's going on Disney Plus. I would be fine if they put that on Disney Plus. I think I would rather see that on there than Black Widow. But I think they can you don't have to worry about a schedule with other films with that. I think that's definitely getting pushed to December because they don't really have a tentpole film in December right now, Disney. And that seems like a movie that you could put in December and like bring a lot of families out to see it.
What are some movies that are coming out this December? As far as I don't know any, but do you guys know any?
December?
Yeah.
I don't know let me look real quick because I know Eternals comes out in November.
We gotta like at least know the competition. If it's nothing, they probably just gonna go like, screw it.
The only big things that are coming out in December, you got West Side Story on December 18th. You got Dune December 18th. Not really something that's going to compete with. Well,
neither one of those would compete with Mulan.
They're already coming out with toys. Like they have a toy line ready for Dune. So they have a lot of hope for this.
I think that's a guaranteed failure though, and I don't know why they would do that.
You mean like
I think that's a waste of money. I don't know. I hope Dune's going to be good. I think it will be.
I think it'll be received really well, but I think it's gonna be kind of like how Blade Runner did financially.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna last in the box office.
It might do a little bit better than Blade Runner because people aren't expecting it to be a sequel, and you have like Josh Brolin and stuff in there.
Timothy Chalamet can attract an audience. Brolin can attract an audience.
I don't think Timothy Chalamet is bringing anybody in. I think people in the film industry overestimate him.
He's bringing like 3 people.
When I mean like girls on Instagram that fanboy him a lot, that's like he can bring people in.
I don't know, but
it doesn't compete with any of those. Mulan doesn't.
Coming to America, I think that's on Netflix. West Side Story. I don't know why that's even getting made. I saw the pictures the other day. I guess that's something we could talk about real quick too. Is they posted some pictures from West Side Story, some behind the scenes photos. Don't care. I could just go watch the original film.
You'll watch both of them and you'll like it.
And this movie's not even. It's not like a modern day tale. It's literally still back in the same time period.
Yeah.
Somebody, please help Spielberg.
See, he's got this. He's bringing it back.
Looks like we got a Tom and Jerry movie coming out.
Did you hear the comments he said about Vin Diesel?
You talking about how he wished he would direct another film?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a crime of cinema.
I'm sure it is.
Steve.
The Croods 2 comes out December 23rd, and Tom and Jerry. The Tomorrow War. It's Christmas Day.
That's
and you got a couple other dramatic smaller things like News of the World coming out Christmas Day, The Nightingale. And that's it. So, December is a very good field to move stuff into right now. Because really, you have James Bond coming out on November 25th, and Disney has something called Raya and the Last Dragon. I don't know what that is. Raya and the Last Dragon, maybe. But I feel like, I mean, I would even probably push that to next year at this point. You got Godzilla coming out November 20th.
Yeah.
Internals November 6th. But like, there's a lot of room there in December that you can move stuff into. Mulan's, I think, definitely is going to December. I think the New Mutants, I think that's going on Disney Plus.
That
They
movie,
should go on Disney Plus. Like, they should just give up.
it's not coming out, dude. That movie doesn't even exist. They shot those couple scenes for the trailer.
That's all they have. They keep finding
No
excuses.
movie. They're not done filming yet. They're just like, every time, please give us a reason to push it back to finish filming.
They need to put it on Disney Plus or Hulu or something. Even if it's just a trailer, just come out. Let us know. But I think that's getting pushed to then. And Artemis Fowl, I just cancel that movie. Put that on Disney Plus too.
That looks bad.
That movie should have came out in 2004. I don't know why they're making it now.
Just looked like Tomb Raider to me.
The Green Knight.
Yeah, good luck.
Should put that on Amazon. You're not bringing anybody out for that movie anyways.
A24, bro.
And a lot of these others, like I said, I think Scoob, move that to late September or early October.
Move that to the trash.
Man, I was really excited for Legally Blonde 3, especially since it was supposed to come out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it didn't even get pushed back. It just didn't come out.
No, it got pushed back to May
8th. Without a trailer?
They dodged a bullet, too.
Any kind of set photos, word of mouth, anything.
They just have the one poster that says Valentine's Day.
Reese Witherspoon has been totally quiet about this, so there must be some crazy twist she doesn't want to leak.
Hey, man, they have 3 cast members announced.
Rumored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you also have, these movies that are coming out, they're going straight to VOD. We just mentioned Bloodshot, which it actually already came out, but Trolls World Tour, I think that's the first big one that's coming out April 10th. It's supposed to come out in cinemas, and now it's going straight to VOD. Not a big loss here.
It's brutal.
I mean, it might be a big loss to the studio.
Probably.
It's the family, imagine the people, how many people bring their kids to that garbage, and now they're paying one price to get it at home. So
just have a whole party.
Yeah, really, you brought out 27 people in the neighborhood over. Too many people. Only 10 or less.
10 per house.
All jokes aside, I think it will make some decent amount just because what's happening, and a lot of kids are staying home, so it could make at least decent.
I mean, I think it will do very well for VOD.
Yeah, for VOD, that's what I mean. It will do really well.
But it's still a huge difference from what they would have made in theaters.
For the names they have attached to it, yeah, they're going to probably crap.
But, I don't know what else. I'm trying to think what else got pushed that I think they could end up putting on VOD or Disney Plus. I think New Mutants, they're better off putting on.
I saw a thing on Twitter today, and there was possibility of Wonder Woman not getting the July release date.
Oh, you mean June?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because what's happening right now. If nothing happens till now in mid-April, I think that's just going to be all right. I think.
Well, Wonder Woman should have came out last November.
Yeah,
it's supposed to.
Bet they're regretting that now.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree. I think Wonder Woman will end up getting pushed back because you got to think about this too. Big movies like Wonder Woman that are supposed to come out in June, even if theaters open early June, think about pre-sale tickets and the word of mouth and everything. That was another thing I think is smart for Disney to push Black Widow back at this point, is because they don't know what theaters are doing, and you can't put pre-sales out. And it's almost it's halfway through March. The tickets for Black Widow would start going on sale pretty soon if the movie was still coming out in May.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's just I know you guys hate this, but like with soccer right now, they already have the plan cleared out for the schedule from now till next year, so that'll postpone a couple events till this summer till the next summer, so they can finish the regular season, and so they can also finish the European competitions. So the plan is for them, like I think, start going back probably like to finish everything at least by June or July. But that's what they have right now. I think they have backup plans in case something else happens. But right now, studios don't know what's going to happen, and right now it's just kind of like the only way for them to put the pre-sale tickets online is they got to know what the government's going to say or what the movie theaters are going to say.
Exactly. I think you're looking at about a month and a half out as far as like decisions being made about movies. So Wonder Woman's supposed to come out sometime in June. I would say mid-April, if the state of this isn't any better, I think Wonder Woman gets pushed back.
Yeah. Now, like HBO is like I think like they're expanding their streaming to like Adult Swim and all that stuff. So it's a possibility, but it's really low. Like I'll say like a 0.3% kind of thing for Wonder Woman.
One last thing here. Do you think? So say they theaters start opening again, and 4th of July, like people are back at the cinema and all that. Do you think movies such as, let's say Tenet for an example, which is supposed to come out, I think, around the second week in July, third week in July, I think. Do you think they could potentially push that back, even though that would be safe, but to make room for, say, Wonder Woman and taking its place instead, and maybe pushing Tenet back to another time?
They possibly could. They could probably push Tenet to like December.
I don't know. They're like kind of different audiences.
Uh,
Like one's like a superhero. I mean, Christopher Nolan has enough of an audience where people are going to come see it.
He has enough street cred, basically.
Well, but you also got to think
it's a totally different movie than Wonder Woman.
But he still made superhero movies. But even if you don't look at that, it's both WB though, right? And I don't think they're going to put out two potential blockbusters next to each other.
But they're already that close.
A month.
Like, as of right now, like if nothing changes.
Because let's look. Wonder Woman's supposed to come out June 5th.
Yeah.
Tenet comes out July 17th. So that's a little over a month apart.
But I mean, they already had it planned like that. So
right. And I think that'll be fine. Yeah. But if they were to push, say, Wonder Woman back to July 4th weekend, I could see them pushing Tenet back maybe to August.
Maybe.
And like, go ahead.
Or maybe December.
And like,
because they did have Aquaman in December in 2018. How a success with that.
Yeah,
and but they can also move Wonder Woman there. Sorry.
And one thing kind of like came up to mind was like how's this going to affect future projects? Because right now certain like pretty much like production is just on hold right now. How's that going to affect other projects?
Yeah, and a lot of smaller films too is going to get probably canceled and have to make room for the bigger blockbusters.
Yeah, and like it's just also like will actors be like, will they want to go like straight to like, all right, I'm done with this, let me go straight to that? Obviously they'll do it because it's their job, but will they do it? A
lot of stuff is going to end up
the epidemic we're in.
A lot of stuff's going to end up having to get pushed back. So a lot of stuff that was supposed to come out in 2021, 2022 might get adjusted because, take that for an example. Like just for an example, Batman, Robert Pattinson's filming Batman. He might have something else lined up to film after Batman, but now he's not going to be able to film that when he was supposed to because Batman's going to take over. So times are going to get adjusted.
And also, like, how is this going to affect movie theaters? Like, it's just like, will people still be a little bit like, like mindful?
You mean not dropping food in the seat and then eating it?
Yeah.
No, they won't care.
I mean,
I don't know. A lot of this stuff too, it just seems like common sense. You should be doing it all the time, like washing your hands.
Yeah, but like after like how this is like, well, there are gonna be some people that can be like, I'll be like, ah, shit, I'm not sure if I want to go. Like obviously, it's gonna be like you guys that are gonna be like, all right, just basic hygiene, that's it. But there's still gonna be people that are gonna be like, I don't know, like I don't want to.
Well,
they didn't that well, or
good. I have less people to worry about in the theater.
I will say the same. Yeah. However, I do think you'll see a little bit of that'll be a factor because I mean, look at like when there's a shooting in a theater. Usually around the week or so that happens, less people go to the movies because they're scared. After that, people start going back because
Probably gonna be a thing for
they don't care anymore. It's gone.
If it didn't happen in a week, it's not gonna happen again.
Nope. That's the mindset. But I know Ethan, you got to get going here, so we'll wrap this up. But yeah, every Friday we got a new episode of Happy Hour for you guys. Check it out. And we have all new slate of stuff coming out throughout the week. On Mondays we do What If. Tuesdays we do Top Shelf, which is a ranking episode. We take a topic list, make it. Wednesdays we have On the Rocks, where we take a topic, just talk about it, see where it goes. It's our unfiltered episode. Thursdays we have Free Pour, where we take a film, break it down. We've been doing DC films, so go check those out, the DCEU films. And then on Fridays, of course, we have Happy Hour. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.